Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. And this is going to be a No Kings special edition of the Brian Craig Show podcast, because we're going to talk about this embarrassment that the Democrats put on yesterday, the No Kings event. And the very idea that there's a king is crazy. And we're going to go through some video and show you what happened yesterday throughout our great country with these liberal lunatics. And also, I'll be playing some of the audio and some of the man-on-the-street interviews with the No Kings people. But one thing you have to understand about the left, they believe that democracy has failed anytime they're not in power. But they're so arrogant. They're so narcissistic. They think that they represent the people in their sick, twisted mind with maybe it's that blue hair dye and stuff they put on. I don't know. But they believe that this is only a free country when they're in charge, right? They like one-party rule, these tyrants. And before we get into their no king rhetoric, one thing you got to understand, they just nominated for president of the United States Kamala Harris, who didn't get a single vote in the primaries, and they anointed her the nominee of the party. In fact, they deposed the duly elected president who won the nomination, right? He won the nomination, Joe Biden, in all of those primaries. She wasn't on the ballot. She didn't get one vote. They took it away from the guy who won the primaries and gave it to her. That sounds like the coronation of, well, not a king, but a queen in her instance. So I don't know what they're talking about with this no kings and all this stuff. Now, a lot is being made of the age of the, by the way, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk, the Brian Craig Show podcast on all podcast platforms. A lot's being made of the age, and I want to tell you what that's all about. Here's one video I'm showing. The average age is 50 plus, but most of them are 60 and above with lots of gray hair. And I know a lot of people may not understand what's going on here. And I want to explain the significance of us pointing out how old the No Kings people are. By the way, if you're watching live on YouTube, you're welcome to call in. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. I will be getting to some calls in a bit. The number's pinned at the top of the live chat. Let me explain to you the importance. We're not into ageism in the MAGA movement, right? We Republicans are not about ageism and saying, these people are old, they have no relevance. Let me explain to you what's going on here and why the Democrats did such damage to themselves with this display yesterday at the No Kings event. And here's what I mean. And I'll take it away from the realm of the No Kings March to explain this. Disney. Have you heard the term Disney adult? Disney adult. Yeah, I haven't been to Walt Disney World in 3 or 4 years. I have no plans on ever returning. I was an annual pass holder for many, many years, and I let that lapse, and I'll never renew that again because of their politics and because of a lot of things. But I talk to my friends who go to Disney World about this every time they tell me they just went to Disney World. I have this conversation. And I first noticed this. I went to Walt Disney World, the Magic Kingdom here in Orlando, the first day that they opened after the shutdowns, okay? I was able to get in. It was a limited event because I was an annual pass holder, and I went there. And I made a YouTube video about it on my other YouTube channel. I'll see if I can find that, if it's still online, and maybe I'll post it in the community section on my YouTube channel here. But there were, I noticed this about it, there were no children. It was all adults, okay? It was all adults. And Disney, what's happened with Disney is what's happened to the Democrat Party. The people that are running Disney don't have kids, or they're extremely liberal and they're into all kinds of weird things that are going on these days. And the marketing for Disney is no longer to parents and grandparents to bring their kids. It's to these Disney adults. Well, the problem with that is the Disney adults are Gen Z and millennials who may get married, but they don't have kids. And when I first took my daughter to Walt Disney World, she was 2 years old. It was very exciting because I grew up going there myself. I went there when I was 5 the first time in 1976. But because they're catering their business to these Disney adults who are childless and will, for the most part, not have kids, they're losing the legacy of people wanting to bring their children and grandchildren to Walt Disney World. And that is not a business model that's going to have long-term success. They are at some point going to correct that because these people are going to age out. Well, that's what's going on with the Democrats. Okay. Now, they do have some younger people there, a bunch of weirdos and incels and stuff. But the majority of the people we've seen at the No Kings March are gray-haired old men and old ladies. They're not producing young Democrats anymore to speak of. Very few. You know, I was talking this week after this meeting that the president had in the Oval Office with the in vitro people, and Bobby Kennedy was talking about the birth rate. He said when his uncle was president, the birth rate was 3.5%. Now it's 1.7. For the United States to maintain our population and grow, we have to be at a minimum of 2.3% population growth, and we're only at 1.7. He said it's a national security risk. The Democrats are not breeding new Democrats, and there's a lot of reasons for this. That we'll go through maybe as the show goes on. I'm not going to go through a list with you, but they're a party that is literally, this is not just some throwaway line. With the No Kings event and what made it so disastrous for the Democrats yesterday, it shows that they're a political movement that is literally in the beginning stages of total extinction because they're not reproducing Democrats, right? They are going extinct, and you can see that, and that's why we point out how old all of them are, and not only are they old, but they're just they don't. Remember when I went to a couple years ago when I went to the Turning Point event in West Palm Beach, and I told you it was I'd been going to Republican events my whole life. And I've seen young Republicans and young, and this throughout my life. And when I went to the Turning Point event, I realized that the young Republicans, the young MAGA, that we see, they're the cool kids. They're the cool kids, not the dorks, right? You know, when I was young, the young Republicans, they dressed like Tucker Carlson, right? Like they worked at Blockbuster Video, khakis, loafers, maybe a blue blazer. That's how they dress. Now it's the cool kids that are the Republicans. The cool kids are MAGA. And what do they have? They've got the freaks and the geeks. The few young people they have are freaks, geeks, and weirdos, and the outcast of society who are part of this Democrat movement only because nobody wants them. And I'll go through some of this. Here's an example.
So we are here at the No Kings.
This is in Orlando, Florida, by the way. There's a person on the street interviewing one of these No Kings people in Orlando, Florida, and he has a T-shirt on that says, "I am Antifa," which is really interesting to me because I was under the impression, listening to the Democrats the last few days, that there's no Antifa, that it's just an idea. But, this guy says he's Antifa.
So we are here at the No Kings protest in Orlando, and you are wearing a Antifa T-shirt. And what do you think about having Donald J. Trump declaring the Antifa as a terrorist organization?
I think he's scared of us. I think he's scared that we're trying to stop the fascism that he's trying to do in America. We're putting troops in our cities, firing the public education, getting rid of dumbing the people down. People accept it then. That's what they did in Germany. And
this guy here, by the way, who's talking, he literally has one tooth. It's a bottom tooth in the front of his mouth. I'm not kidding. If you're watching on YouTube, you could see it. If you could see, putting troops in the cities, these liberal cities have been pretty much like 100% crime zones for decades, and their local governments have failed. So we've had to send in the feds with National Guard as backup to get the crime under control. But here is one of the younger of the young Democrats, this weirdo. Okay, here we go. Here's a Canadian who is working in Texas. She's wearing a MAGA hat, and she's talking about the No Kings people. Keep in mind, she's on the younger side. She's on our side, even though she's Canadian.
So I'm a Canadian working down here in Texas, and I don't understand the No Kings protest. First of all, you guys don't have kings. Trump isn't acting as a king, and if you really want to see what a dictatorship looks like, please go to one of the countries that have been sold out by globalist liberal agendas, like Canada, the UK, France, Germany, in order for you to actually see just how bad it is. So we have lived through the liberal regime for the last 10 years and ongoing in Canada, and the Canadians now have done a protest, No Kings protest, not realizing that we technically have a king. His name.
Yeah, isn't that something? Yeah, they've got a king in Canada, and they have no King Charles, of course. I thought that was kind of funny, and they support their king. You know, you look. They talk about dictators. You look at what they were doing to President Trump during his 4-year, the little empty space of the auto pen administration between his 2 glorious terms we're in now. And what were they doing? They were trying to put him in prison in multiple jurisdictions for crimes he didn't commit. And when that didn't work, they shot him. And then when the guy barely hit him in the ear, they tried to do it again at the golf course. But we're the kings, we're the dictators, we're the Nazis.
The liberal regime for the last 10 years and ongoing in Canada. And the Canadians now have done a protest, No Kings protest, not realizing that we technically have a king. His name is King Charles. And then idiots on X are saying that people in England are also joining the Americans with the No Kings protest when they're actually protesting their liberal regime government for no digital IDs. So let's look at the fun, stupid things liberals have done today. Canada offers to support American No Kings protest, draws line at no queens 3 hours ago. We don't have a queen anymore. She died. We Canadians understand Americans.
See, remember, for the liberally impaired in the audience, Canada is not a fully independent country. They're part of the British Commonwealth, so they have a king. That's the point.
Eagerness to show President Trump that he is not their king, and we are all willing to dunk on our own King Charles to do it, explained Prime Minister Pussy Mark Carney, who literally ate shit when he went and met with Trump. We've always been at best lukewarm on the guy, and honestly, we keep forgetting that he is technically our current monarch. No kings, you big-eared loser, a Carney staffer exclaimed, holding up a sign reading, elbows up, kings down, more like elbows up, ass up, so you can get fucked by the liberals.
Oh my goodness. Boy, in Canada, she's salty. She's But the reason I share this with this Canadian, I know she's pretty rough on the language there. The reason she's from a socialist country. Canada is a socialist country, and she's living in Texas in a MAGA hat. So she sees the difference. Now that she's in America, she's in a very red state like I'm in Florida, but she's in Texas. She has an understanding of the differences between the two. She sounds French-Canadian, by the way, doesn't she? Now, she's pretty upset at her country. But I play this for that reason of where she's from. The left, in all their arrogance, they often tell us, go to Canada, go to Europe. Let's find out what they think, right? So I thought we would share what one of them think. Another thing about these No King rallies yesterday, as I go through some of these, less than a year ago, President Trump not only won the national election, he won the popular vote, he won all of the battleground states, and flipped a whole bunch of counties red in blue states. Right? I think it was like 10 counties in California alone, roundabout, give or take. So what these liberals just don't understand is that they are a minority opinion, right? The majority of people in this country are behind Trump, are conservative, are MAGA. And, this country has always leaned to the right, always. That's why, President Kennedy was a lifelong member of the NRA, right? This country's always leaned to the right. But Democrats have been overrepresented in the census, overrepresented in the media. So their voices that are public overrepresent where the people truly are. That's why around the country, there's been so many companies that have dropped all this woke crap since President Trump's second term began. And the reason they have is a lot of these companies were only going along with this woke crap because they thought that was the popular viewpoint, and now they see the truth of it. Listen to this. This is Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff. What a weird-looking guy. And he's with Bill Nye, the Science Guy. And here you've got two frauds, right? Adam Schiff is under investigation for mortgage fraud. And Bill Nye, the Science Guy, is not a scientist. In fact, he only has a bachelor's degree. And that's a character that he created. He's as much of a scientist as Captain Kangaroo was a captain, right? And he parades around like he's a scientist all the time with Mr. Mortgage Fraud next to him. So we got these two frauds at a No Kings event, Adam Schiff and Bill Nye, the fake science guy.
So Breitbart, it's good to see you. You guys, I encourage you to read this. It's available in paperback. And you'll find the same grievances.
I'm trying to film him. He's talking. Go ahead, Bill Nye.
Okay, now you see what they're with these weirdo No Kings people in the background. What they're trying to do with Bill Nye, the science guy, with their Let It Shine and all of that, they've convinced themselves that the re-election of Donald Trump, that they're now in some kind of civil rights movement. They're in this civil rights movement. They're fighting for the civil rights against this guy that was elected by the people. See, you know, there's an old saying by the Democrats, and the saying is the masses are asses. You ever heard a Democrat say that? The masses are asses. That's their whole viewpoint. They hate the majority vote. They hate popular opinion, and they want to intimidate you and convince you that something's wrong with you. And as we can see, they're a bunch of freaks and weirdos. Here's another one. We've got some No Kings people wearing masks and headscarves that are Islamic.
Thank you so much. I love you.
I got to ask you guys a question.
Yeah, what's up?
We're in Naperville, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And you guys are saying eat the rich in Naperville. That means you got to eat like half of these people.
That's honestly fine.
There's a difference between billions of dollars versus millions of dollars.
As a human being, you physically cannot comprehend the concept of a billion, and if you can't concept a number, then you shouldn't have that much money.
So
Billionaires can spend $1 million a year.
So should we eat George Soros's big ass?
I mean,
right? It's like the riches of the rich. It's just kind of like
eat the rich.
Did you hear the pause? Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Soros is rich. Let me tell you, these girls here, they don't, when it comes to eating, I don't know if they're eating the rich, but they're eating something. And whatever it is, they're eating a lot of it. You know, I love these contradictions that come out. By the way, if you're watching on the live stream with the green behind me, if you go to my main stream, you can hear the audio and see all the video I'm showing. And there's a direct link to the main live stream in the description of the episode. And the Brian Craig Show podcast is available on all podcast platforms. If you want to catch the program live, like where I take calls and see the video version, it's on YouTube, Brian Craig Show on YouTube and YouTube Music. And the audio podcast is available wherever you get your podcast. Just search for The Brian Craig Show and we'll come up. Okay. So this is, let's see, where is this one? Okay, this is somebody that actually does not have gray hair in Washington, D.C., although she's dressed like somebody from the 80s. She kind of looks like Belinda Carlisle back in the 80s.
Since Trump's been elected into office, how has your life changed specifically?
I'm a public education teacher, and my kids in my classroom don't even want to stand for the pledge anymore. They feel it's false promises. They feel like there is no liberty and justice for all. I teach a wide variety of kids, and to hear them tell me that they're scared about having brown skin is abhorrent and unnecessary, and certainly not a American.
Okay, so a couple things here. I've never heard a teacher actually openly say this, but she said a couple of things. First, she said her kids do not want to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. When I was in school, that wasn't an option. And when I was in college and I was taking education classes, there was a guy in one of my classes who was conservative. He was conservative, and he was already teaching He had a bachelor's degree in something else, but he was upping his education. I can't remember. I think he was working towards a math. He had to take some classes. Well, anyway, he was in my class, and he was telling me that he had a couple of kids in his class that would not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, right? And this was years ago, and he had a pretty clever plan. So you know what he would do? They did the pledge every day. He had these two students that wouldn't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. You know what this guy did? It was brilliant. He said when the Pledge of Allegiance came on, he said, I'd have them go wait out in the hall, right? And so what did they do? They stood outside the classroom during the pledge. And he says they're too stupid to know it, but they're out there standing during the Pledge of Allegiance every day. I thought that was pretty clever. So this teacher here, when I was going to school, not standing for the Pledge of Allegiance was not an option. When I was in 10th grade, this is crazy. This would never be allowed today with all these liberals. When I was in 10th grade in high school, a good friend of mine, he was from Canada, right? He was in Canada. And he would not say the Pledge of Allegiance. Not only, he would not stand or stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And he had a teacher who gave him a hard time about it. And he says, I'm Canadian. He had just moved to this country from Canada to here. I mean, he had not been here for years or anything. His family just moved to Fort Lauderdale. And he said, I'm Canadian. He says, I'm not going to pledge allegiance to the flag of another country. I'm Canadian. So he put some pressure on. He said, okay, I'll stand. Well, then he wouldn't say the Pledge of Allegiance, right? So he was standing finally, but he wouldn't say the Pledge of Allegiance. So what the teacher did was make him write the entire Pledge of Allegiance 100 times, and then turn it into him. He had to write it. So he learned it. He knew it by rote. He couldn't believe that he did it, and he did that. And the teacher, I remember the teacher. I can't remember his name, but I remember the teacher was actually black. He probably still is if he's alive. He probably still is black, not was. But I'm assuming a Democrat back then in the mid 80s. So this teacher here who says that her kids won't stand or say the Pledge of Allegiance, that's her fault. And the reason they're not is because she doesn't want them to say it. She probably doesn't stand and say it either. And it's beyond just the Pledge of Allegiance. One of the things about school is learning rules and structure and authority. But her kids hate this country because of her not making them do it because she doesn't want to do it. And then she says at the end, something about her kids, her students are afraid because they're not white. Let me play it again.
Since Trump's been elected into office, how has your life changed specifically?
I'm a public education teacher, and my kids in my classroom don't even want to stand for the pledge anymore. They feel it's false promises.
Sounds like that.
They feel like there is no liberty and justice for all. I teach a wide variety of kids, and to hear them tell me that they're scared about having brown skin is abhorrent and unnecessary.
Okay, her students tell her they're scared having brown skin. What kind of conversations are they having in this woman's classroom? What does this have to do with reading, writing, and arithmetic? I'm not too sure, but why would you be scared to have brown skin? Why would you be scared? And where would a student get that idea? You know where? From her and these liberal teachers. This is why we need a massive recruitment drive in the MAGA movement for new school teachers, because the teachers that are in the classroom aren't teaching anything other than liberal crap. And the things that they're teaching kids are really bad. I mean, this woman here, I mean, what she is doing is abuse. Now, I want to tell you guys about Dr. Philip Appleton and his robotic laser wave pain center. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you're in pain, listen up. You don't have to be. When I was a kid growing up, all the old people I knew were in pain. And those old people in pain were younger than I am now. Okay? And I just assumed as you grew older, as I was getting aches and pains, my knee, my shoulders, my arthritis that I used to have, okay, I used to think, well, that's just life. I guess I'll be taking pain medication my whole life. It's part of growing old. Then I met Dr. Philip Appleton. He's treated me 7 times for pain, different things, all gone. My arthritis that I had in my finger, that was so bad. The feeling of arthritis is a difficult pain to describe, other than it's like it's like a bolt of electricity nonstop, and it doesn't go away. And it's the kind of pain that's so bad, once you like want to fall asleep. He treated me twice with his laser wave pain treatment. Gone, hasn't returned. Amazing. Works on every type of pain I've ever heard of: arthritis, bronchial neuralgia, bursitis, hip pain, knee pain, lumbar pain, muscular contractions, sciatica, strains and sprains, tinnitus, tennis elbow, neck pain, stenosis. The list goes on. That's a very incomplete list. We have listeners who have traveled from all over the United States to see Dr. Appleton because his laser wave pain treatment works. The consultation is always free and appointments are never necessary, even on Saturdays. So take advantage of that no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton and do what I've done 7 times. Say bye-bye to your pain. His number is 954-973-0710, 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll get to the calls right after this break.
The holiday season will be here before you know it. You want a gift that truly stands out, that'll be remembered for years to come, that's handcrafted, heartfelt, and made to last. And that's what you will find at Max & Rugs on Etsy. At Max & Rugs on Etsy, every piece tells a story of craftsmanship and care. Visit the shop right now and view their inventory. You will be impressed. maxandrugs.etsy.com. That's MAKSON. You'll find stunning cowhide and sheepskin rugs, elegant handbags, pillow covers, and that's just the beginning. Each creation blends natural beauty with timeless design. Handmade in Canada, Max & Rugs brings the warmth of artistry right into your home or the home of someone you love. Whether you're decorating your home, your office, or searching for that unforgettable gift for any occasion throughout the year, you'll find something truly special at Max & Rugs on Etsy. Don't wait. Visit maxandrugs.etsy.com. That's MAKSON. Explore the handcrafted collection everyone's talking about. maxandrugs.etsy.com, where craftsmanship meets creativity. Whispers creep through the night as treasures awaken at Bravelio.com. From hauntingly elegant decor and luxe furniture to mysterious accessories, every piece carries a spell of sophistication. Discover it at Bravelio.com. Enter BRAVELLIO.com and claim 10% off with coupon SCARY10. A chilling offer alive all October. Unlock the mysteries of Bravelio.com before these spectral luxuries vanish from view. Bravelio.com, where luxury haunts the night. Imagine a world that doesn't exist on any map, yet somehow feels disturbingly familiar. Introducing Alvitania, a collection of short sci-fi and fantasy stories, a la Borges and Bradbury, from author Tim Wexler, where satire, sci-fi, and fantasy collide. In these surreal stories, business trips spiral into absurdity, countries vanish overnight, and political revolutions twist into something far stranger than fiction. Each story is a mirror, reflecting the humor, chaos, and contradictions of modern life. Alvitania blends dark humor, magical realism, and sharp social commentary to expose the absurdities of our own world, one strange tale at a time. If you enjoy Black Mirror, speculative fiction, or literary satire that lingers long after you're done reading, it's time to journey to Alvitania. Alvitania, a collection of short sci-fi and fantasy stories, a la Borges and Bradbury, from author Tim Wexler. Available right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, hardcover, and Audible, and free with Kindle Unlimited. This book makes a great addition to your book club too. Order your copy right now. Have you ever wondered if the stocks everyone's hyping are really worth the price? You don't need guesswork anymore. Just go to fairvalue-calculator.com. At fairvalue-calculator.com, you'll find instant analysis of over 45,000 stocks worldwide using more than 15 proven valuation methods. Fairvalue-calculator.com gives you clarity on whether a stock is undervalued or overvalued. It's simple to use too. Beginners can start with free tools by entering key financial financial ratios. Or just type in the stock's name and see all the pros, cons, and the fair value instantly. At fairvalue-calculator.com, you're not going to find a lot of technical terms, just straightforward insights you can use to make smarter decisions. Stop relying on hype and visit fairvalue-calculator.com and start your free trial. fairvalue-calculator.com, the smarter way to find the real value of any stock. fairvalue-calculator.com.
All right. Welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. If you're on hold, stand by. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast. I saw this on X, and I'm not sure. I saw some of these aerial views yesterday and of these crowds where it's just a sea of people. And MSNBC, they showed the crowd from above in Washington, and one's at 11:35 a.m. and the other one's an hour later, exactly 12:35 p.m. And everything and everyone is in the exact same spot. It also it looks like the same video from overhead. I don't know. I saw this on X and it looks like the same video. All right, let's take some calls and we'll share some more from our No King people. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Craig from Winter Garden.
Hey, what's up? Oh, hold on a second here. They're now saying, before you go on, this video I'm showing, here's another post that is saying, this is interesting. Hold on a second here, okay? Bear with me, Craig. Hold on. Winter, would you say you're from Winter Garden, Florida?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me pull this up. You won't be able to see what I'm talking about, but the people watching on YouTube will be able to see it. It's now being reported online that these images of the crowd in Boston is from a 2017 protest in Boston, not the No Kings rally that took place yesterday. So I don't know. This is on X. I've not verified it. I just saw this, but people are looking that aerial view we saw in Boston was from Boston, but in 2017, 8 years ago. So that's there we go. All right. So what's on your mind?
This wasn't what I was talking about, but since you brought it up, I was when I see those images on YouTube of different parts of these different, what do you call it, rallies, and all the people there, I said, well, crap, that's a lot more than I would ever think, but now they're probably all staged, and like you said, a different rally, not even what this thing is, but typical what the left does. Question for you, I was going to ask you, for the last 10 years, President Trump's been the main one. He's been in there, he's doing everything. I only see one drawback that he's ever done.
What's
and
that?
Not even negative, just a drawback. He has set the bar so high.
Yes.
Done everything perfect. The only thing I'm not even worried about, but just a little bit of a letdown. Doesn't matter who comes in after him. It'll be MAGA, whether it's J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Kristi Noem. You pick it. You pick the MAGA person you want. It's not going to be President Trump. And I'm thinking like all these rallies that he would give over the years and couldn't wait to watch him and enthused, and I'll still watch them, whoever it is, but it's not going to be the same. And I kind of relate it to I know you don't follow sports or football or anything, but the Miami Dolphins back in 1972 were undefeated. They were perfect. No losses.
And they've sucked ever since.
Well, not just them. Everybody ahead of them, every winner of any Super Bowl had always had a loss.
Yes.
Every winner of every Super Bowl since then has a loss. So they can say, this team's greatest, this team's greatest. The greatest was a 72 Miami Dolphins.
Yep, the undefeated team. Yeah.
And that's kind of how I look at President Trump. I mean, the guy, he's done everything right. Nothing I can, have any, negative reaction to. He's just, I hate to say perfect about any man because there's only been one man, but he's as close to a human being now that we've got. And I don't know, you pick the person you think's gonna, and I'm not even worried about that.
We've got the top guy ever. There's not going to be, whoever the second and third and fourth MAGA presidents are, they're not going to be this good. No, that's exactly right. That's how good he is.
Look at what he's done for us. Like next year, the way the congressional thing's setting up, and about all this redistricting and stuff, we're going to pick up at least 30 seats. If we don't flip a seat, we're going to probably have a 30-seat advantage.
Yes.
The Senate, we might pick up 1 or 2 more. We've got governorships. I mean, I am optimistic. I know I love listening to Richie's calls. I like him. Guy's great, but he's such a pessimist all the time. I guess that's just the way he is. I understand it, and I like listening to him. I really do. Of all your callers, he's my favorite one. I really like him. But I guess I got blinders on, but I'm the eternal optimist. And the way things are going, I mean, I can't be happier with everything. And what you're doing is not as bad as Richie. Richie always pessimist. That's a nice way to say. Some people like to talk like losers and find the negative and everything. There's a great point. Don't worry about that. I mean, don't be. You're already disappointed. We don't even know who the next person's going to be, for sure. Don't it could be right.
JD, Marco. Who knows? And when they're in charge, who knows how they'll be, right? I don't know about that.
Exactly, and it's.
The bar has been risen by Trump, that bar is our expectations. So whoever the second and third MAGA presidents are, they're going to have to come up to our level of expectations, or they're going to be losers.
Right. And, I'm sure President Trump's going to be right in there with the next one anyway. He'll be rallying with them or so. Hey, but listen, we got 3 more years. I shouldn't even brought that up, but I'm just thinking down the road.
All right, listen, I'm going to move on, but I appreciate the call. Great call from Winter Garden, Florida. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll go back to the calls in a bit. So this is, I'm not sure where this No Kings event is, but we got one of the No Kings leaders here.
Thank you for coming. I don't think that's on them, but
You don't want to talk to me?
No, you're kind of.
Now there's a guy wearing a T-shirt that says "For Charlie Kirk," and he's talking to the No Kings organizer here.
Thank you for coming. I don't think that's on them, but
You don't want to talk to me?
No, you're kind of.
Are you an organizer?
Yes, I am the organizer. Yeah.
Well, you should be able to tell me every reason and have an open dialogue like everybody else. Unless you're a fraud. You don't want to be a fraud, right? You're looking at you're not looking for dialogue. You can tell by the words, the language,
Go ahead.
You can't back up. You can't back up your position. You can't tell me why you're here. Everyone else does. You're gonna cut.
Yeah, I don't owe you any explanation. First of all, second of all,
if you're out here,
second of all,
telling
don't
everyone how to think. I'm not telling anybody how to think, buddy. You can talk to me too if you want to. I am. Didn't you hear me? Am I stuttering? I actually agree with your shirt. Yeah, well, maybe we should make Orwell fiction again and not have fucking fascists on the streets. And sir, I think it's a weaponization of government that's happened for way longer than Trump. This happened during Biden, happened during Obama, it happened during Bush. Not like this. No, they did not put the National Guard on the streets.
I'm going to make sure that nobody else ends up entertaining your little thing here, so you can go ahead and try to talk to people, but we're all going to walk away. Since you want to talk over people, I'll talk louder. We're going to walk away.
That's real. What are you?
Oh my God!
Are you saying that's not true? You can't even back up while you're here and don't trip over your bag there.
I can back up while I'm here.
No,
I think I did it for about 2 hours.
I'll sit here and talk to you 3 hours.
Oh yeah, what are you talking about?
Now they got the old ladies after him.
Civilized citizen. Oh yeah, can you pull that out of yourself? Okay.
Really hard.
I bet it is. But you have a great rest of your day. We're gonna go ahead and walk away because we don't need
you
the
can't explain your position. This is why the left is losing. This is why the left is losing. We can't. Fucking people like you don't understand anything. This is why the left is losing. You can't get to explain your position.
You're so small-minded that you can't understand what we're saying.
Personal attacks don't work.
Then
why did Charlie do nothing but personal attacks? There's a reason why he lost the election, right? Yeah, because... And I'm not even a Republican.
He cheated. He had Elon Musk.
You lost because you've lost the culture.
No, we're not mad about that.
See, she's an election denier. She's denying Trump's win in 24.
Fight with ideas. You fight with
old lady.
That doesn't work. That's why people will not vote for the left anymore. Who shot 2 senators in Minnesota? Was it a lefty?
No.
A Walsh employee? A Walsh staffer?
Yes, it was a lefty.
It was a lefty.
Yes, it was a leftist. It was a Democrat. They always go back to that. Yes, it was a Democrat. They got the same things, just like these incels that call me.
Is that what you're trying to tell me? It was Tim Walsh who was the VP nomination. What do you mean where'd I get this information? Out of your ass? Out of your ass. The man that The man that shot him dressed like a cop, put on a mask, and went into 2 Democratic senators' houses and another 2 Democratic people's houses. But you're going to try to tell me he's a lefty. He worked for a Democrat. You're a fucking idiot.
Debate, you would have already had your information.
I don't even have what.
Okay, so the reason I shared this particular clip, and this goes into what the caller was just saying. Do you see what we have in this country now? For this No Kings event was a complete disaster for the Democrats on every level. One, it revealed their numbers are, they're going into extinction because of the age. But we have these activists that after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, there's, remember with Breitbart, he talked about citizen journalism. Everybody with an iPhone is a journalist now, and you can catch these things. We're in the next phase of that, where we have activists in the streets making the case for MAGA, making the case for Republicans, making the case for Trump, out in the streets in open dialogue and debate all over the United States yesterday. And we've never had that before in the conservative movement. And we do now, which is absolutely amazing. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, this is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know that picture you showed earlier of that crowd, the two side-by-side pictures. Think about this now. And you said it looks like it's the same picture.
They're saying on X that the Boston image from above was from 2017. I don't know, but it's being reported on X that it is by the internet sleuths.
Yeah, but again, this is they do this all the time. They did it with the Million Man March and the Million Mile March. There are 1 million people at this march when there's nowhere close to that at this march, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying there are hundreds of thousands of people at these No Kings things. Well, there's nowhere near that there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, I appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, once, twice. You missed your chance. The rest of you on hold, hang in there. Let me pull up a couple of these others. Oh, yes. Okay. Here we go. I just found this. This is one of the Young Democrats. The Young Democrats, of course, were on the scene at the No Kings rally. Here we go. A Young Democrat, about 85 years old.
I'm here because as a country, we've always welcomed the immigrant, and it breaks my heart to see how people are being treated with such cruelty, and instead of obeying the laws that we have in our land.
Yeah, well, it's easy for her not to worry about illegals coming here and taking people's jobs since she's been out of the workforce for about 35 years. This is the No Kings in D.C., and this comes from Laura Loomer.
Hello, Congresswoman.
Oh, this is that weirdo Congresswoman with the purple hair.
Hello, Congresswoman. How are you? Will you Democrats apologize for shutting down a government to throw a pro-Hamas, pro-Antifa, anti-Trump protest on Capitol Hill? You don't want to apologize, Congresswoman? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's, it's really the change that has happened. Some of it's because of a lot of different people, including, President Trump, but a lot of it, is also, of course, the late great Charlie Kirk. The cool people are not just in the MAGA movement. We're red-pilling people each and every day, and if you notice, these people that are out in the streets that made all these videos. All the audio and video that I'm sharing with you were made by MAGA people who went to their local neighborhood No Kings event yesterday. When has the Republican movement, the Republican Party, had citizen activists before? We really never did. This is a completely new phenomena in the Republican movement. And it's grown a lot since that never-Trumper Democrat assassinated Charlie Kirk. That was a big wake-up call. People are like, am I going to take this anymore? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. Oh, hold on. Let me answer these lines that are coming in. All right.
Oh, I can hear you.
You're on the air. What's your name?
Andrew.
Where are you calling from?
Andrew from Connecticut.
Hey, Andrew. What's on your mind?
Well, I mean, every time I tune into your show, every now and then, and it baffles me sometimes, the things that I hear you spewing. And I just want to just start as a baseline for just starting with what's recently happening with all the lawfare against Trump's political opponents. So can we agree, or can I get your opinion for the lawfare against Letitia James?
Well, Letitia James has been accused and indicted by a federal grand jury for mortgage fraud.
Okay. So
James Comey has been indicted for lying to Congress, which is a felony. It's perjury.
So then you're in support of that, is what you're saying?
No, I'm not in support of perjury. No, I'm not in support of perjury or mortgage fraud.
You're in support of the government.
Okay. I was confused by your call. Now I understand. You believe that if someone is critical of Trump, that they should be able to commit felonies. Like if you're critical of Trump, you can commit mortgage fraud and perjury?
No, you're not.
So what does that mean? So because James Comey committed perjury, lied to Congress. Letitia James mortgage fraud. Should they not be prosecuted because they don't like Trump? I'm confused.
No, we're here. We're following a line of dialogue and we're talking about it.
Well, explain that to me.
Are you in support?
No. I asked you a question. Because they are critical of Trump and don't support Trump, should they be allowed to get away with their felonies? Is that what you're telling me? Yes or no?
Is saying that, but I'm.
Well, you said it. You called it lawfare. I call it criminal activity.
Okay. Look, let me go down. Let me ask the question. So
no, I'm not. No. Respond to that. Are you saying that Letitia James should not be prosecuted for mortgage fraud because she disapproves of Trump? Yes or no?
If they committed crimes, then yes.
Well, they did. Okay, so you agree with Trump. Thank you very much. You agree.
So,
you agree with.
But
okay.
Then you go and say, oh well, the grand jury and all this. What about the grand jury for all of Trump's indictments?
The difference is Trump didn't commit crimes. Trump didn't commit crimes.
You have a double standard.
No, I have the same standard. If you commit crimes, you should be prosecuted. If you don't, you shouldn't. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Someone telling you what to say? Who's that lady talking to you? Who's that lady talking to you? Who's that lady talking to you in the background? Is she telling you what to say to me?
No, that was my sister walked in. It's early in the morning.
Oh yeah, what'd you say? Oh really? Okay, and what'd she say to you? Because I heard like some. I wouldn't say yelling, but there was some confusion.
Are you saying that's Antifa?
You live with your. Why do you live with your sister? You're a grown man or a child? How old are you?
Look
how old are you?
Right now.
Wait a minute. No, this is interesting. Why do you live with your sister? How old are you?
What does any of that matter?
I just find you're either. Are you a child? Do you still live with your parents?
What does that matter?
Well, it matters because you don't have skin in the game. If you're not a grown up, you have no skin in the game. Are you in high school or something?
Look at how you're just immediately implying that to me.
Well, I find it odd that you live with your sister unless you're a child. Do you live with your parents?
You are such a joke, dude.
Have you grown? Are you a grown up?
Can you get the boo out of your mouth? Can you get the government Trump boo?
Well, no, I'm curious. I'm curious. I live with my wife. I'm a grown man who's married. You live with your sister.
I see what you're doing. You're trying to devolve from the conversation.
When it comes to politics, everyone's politics.
When it comes to Trump, you don't care.
When it comes to politics, everyone comes to their conclusions on politics based on the way they live their life and their situation. I'm trying to find out, are you a grown-up or a child who lives with mommy and daddy? How old are you?
So just to get it out of the way, I'm 27 years old.
What the hell? What's a 27? When I was 27 years old, I had a wife and a home. Why are you living with your sister at 27?
Because we split a house because the fucking prices are way too expensive nowadays.
They were always expensive.
We'll make America great again, right?
Well, what I did when I was 27 and I was married, I worked two jobs. I worked two jobs. Oh my goodness.
Obfuscation, and you're just divulging.
The reason that you're a leftist is because you don't like people that are successful because you're unsuccessful. You don't like successful people.
You really believe the things that you say? I feel like
See, I may have had a hard time paying the rent when I was 27, but I had a wife and we had two incomes. Or I worked two jobs too sometimes. I didn't live with my sister. I've got sisters. I don't live with them. Never did.
So is that wrong to live with my sister?
It tells us why you're a liberal. You don't like successful people.
Okay, so just to redirect back to the topic at hand, I'm asking about political lawfare and attacking political opponents, right? You agree that if somebody commits a crime, they should be investigated and charged with that crime, correct?
Well, in the case of Letitia, we're talking about Letitia James and Comey, yes. I don't believe criminals should be able to get away with their crimes.
I'm looking for a yes or no, dude.
That's not a yes or no.
Yes or no.
If somebody commits a crime and they find out, yeah, they should be prosecuted, sure.
So then if you are in support of the indictment against Letitia James and James Comey, you are also in support of the indictments against Donald Trump.
No, you don't get it. See, Comey, the indictments against President Trump are not real indictments. You had corrupt public officials. Letitia James and Comey are responsible.
Yeah, there was indictments.
Hey, listen, I gotta run. I gotta run to take a break, but maybe you should run and get a second job so you can get your own.
To actually answer a question.
I've answered your questions. It's time for a break.
Question, you want to obfuscate and you want to attack.
Don't say that I'm afraid and not a man when you're living with your sister at 27 years old. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Oh boy. If you're in the state of Florida, listen up. It's hurricane season. It's rainy season. And if you've got a wet spot on your ceiling, you got a leak in your roof. And, you know, that wet spot on your ceiling is bad news because that means that on your roof, you have a loose shingle or a tile. That's where the water's coming in. And when those winds come through, well, there you have it. The winds are looking for an entryway. That loose shingle, that loose tile could be the entryway that hurricane or tropical storm find. You know, Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Laporta Roofing was voted the best roofing company in Fort Lauderdale, and that's an amazing thing. We have more roofing companies per capita probably than any other place in the United States because we're in Hurricane Alley of Florida. Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing is the best. He's a good MAGA guy, and because of that, he'll never sell you a roof you do not need. If you need a simple repair, he'll do it. He works with every type of roofing material. He can handle the job of any size, and he works on every type of structure, single-family homes, office buildings, churches, municipal buildings. He can handle one home of any size, no matter how small, no matter how large, a single office building, a municipal building, or a community that has over 450 units. He covers both the East Coast and West Coast of Florida and everywhere in between. Give him a call. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. You can call or text him at that number. Or go to his website, laportaroofing.com. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. You're listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast. We'll be right back.
Have you dreamed of exploring Australia? Not as a tourist, but as a true local. Australia Your Way 2025 from author and lifelong traveler Katrina Amirovich. Available on Amazon, takes you on a 6-week journey along the east coast of Australia. From the rugged beauty of the Great Ocean Road to the tropical wonders of the Great Barrier Reef. Australia Your Way 2025 was written from real lived experiences. This isn't a guidebook, it's a personal adventure. One filled with insider tips, hidden gems, and even the author's unforgettable wedding in Sydney. When you read Australia Your Way 2025, you'll find adaptable itineraries, smart budget hacks, as well as confidence-boosting safety tips for solo and female travelers. There's also local secrets beyond the tourist traps, with QR codes linking you to maps, apps, and planning tools to make your trip seamless. Whether you're road tripping, backpacking, or chasing waterfalls in Queensland, Australia Your Way 2025 2025 shows you the Australia only locals know and love. Order your copy right now on Amazon in Kindle and paperback. From author Vera Hollow comes a book that's a light for anyone who's ever felt alone in their struggle. A reminder that even in our hardest moments, we can still find humor, strength, and maybe a little magic in Teacups, Trauma, and a Touch of Witchcraft. Available on Amazon. Meet Maggie. She's 54, chronically ill, recently divorced, and now able to talk to squirrels. After moving into her late grandmother's cottage in Pine Hollow, Maggie's quiet life takes an impossible turn. A teacup explodes, her grandmother's ghost starts giving tea-making advice, and a 7-foot forest spirit with antlers appears in her kitchen to tell her she's the last living steward who can stop an ancient evil from escaping. But saving the world isn't easy when you can barely open a jar or walk across the room without apologizing to the furniture. Teacups, Trauma, and a Touch of Witchcraft is a magical, heartfelt, and darkly funny story about rediscovering purpose, even when your body doesn't always cooperate. Author Vera Hollow wrote Teacups, Trauma, and a Touch of Witchcraft after being diagnosed with lupus, on top of already living with other chronic illnesses. It was her way to cope, process, and find a little humor. Even on her most difficult days, she hopes that others facing similar battles can find something to relate to in this must-read book. Order your copy right now on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. Teacups, Trauma, and a Touch of Witchcraft from author Vera Hollow on Amazon. Imagine a world where a single plant powers new industries, new opportunities, and a cleaner tomorrow. After the passage of the 2018 Farm Bill, hemp is doing just that. From textiles to building materials, health products to eco-friendly alternatives, hemp has the power to replace top products and create a more sustainable tomorrow. In the new book, Unlocking the Secrets of CBD, Taking Hemp from Seed to Sale, written by the founder of the successful online business, HempThirdEye.com. Unlocking the Secrets of CBD takes you inside the entire industry, from planting to producing high-quality hemp products ready for the marketplace. If you're ready to take part in this green revolution, start right now and order your copy of Unlocking the Secrets of CBD. The link is in the description of this episode, and as a bonus, the author is offering a free 30-minute consultation to talk with you about the physical and economic opportunities of hemp. Hemp is the future. Be a part of it. Order your copy right now, Unlocking the Secrets of CBD. The link is in the description of this episode.
All right, welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you're on hold, stand by. And if you'd like to call in, you can do that. If you're watching live on YouTube, the number is pinned in the live chat. It's 888-465-2631. Okay, here's another lady with a lot of gray hair at the No Kings event.
You are not going to believe what happened to this lady while she was leaving a No Kings protest. And when I say leaving, of course, I mean impeding traffic. It's not just what happened to her while she was leaving that's hilarious. It's what the cops gave her after the fact. Take a listen.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Tiernan. And on Saturday, after leaving the No Kings protest, I was struck and injured by a motor vehicle while leaving the protest. The cops here in Catskill, New York, took several days to get an accident report together, and they would not give me any information. They never interviewed me after the accident. I've been asking for information for days because I've been very traumatized by this event. And now, in order to re-traumatize me, the cops here in Catskill are telling me that it's my fault that I put my human body in the street to be hit by a motor vehicle. The people in the motor vehicle actually got out and started screaming in my face after they had struck me. I spent the rest of the day in the hospital having x-rays and MRIs, CAT scans on my pelvis and on my head. And they never came to check on me. They never came to ask me any questions. They never did anything. And now they're giving me a citation for being in the road. So, honestly, I think that's a bunch of crap, and I'm very, very upset because I want to press criminal charges against this person who hit me, and the cops just handed me a citation saying that it's my fault, that my fragile human body got hit by a motor vehicle after the protest. I have not yet seen the videos. They refuse to show them to me without a FOIL request, which of course I will file. That's all I have to say for now. But protect and serve? I don't think so.
Oh, I think they protected and served your ass just what you had coming to you. That's what you get for impeding traffic while protesting against the very same thing that you voted for. All the Democrats seem to forget. We voted against no kings. Remember when they shoved Joe Biden on the ballot and sued everyone that was running against him? I do. And after Joe Biden stepped down, they didn't hold another primary. They just shoved Kamala on the ballot. But you go ahead and keep protesting against no kings. Thankfully, we won't have a king in office for another 3.5 years. And Donald J. Trump is still your president. Let me know what you think about this story.
Okay, yeah, this is a guy. You know, so what she did is she lay down in the street and was blocking traffic. And can you imagine? Think about it. You're in your car. You know, you're just driving down the street, going to wherever you're going, and people get in front of you and block the road. I would consider that to be threatening, wouldn't you? And I would do whatever I had to do to get out of there, because if somebody is I'm going to think I'm going to get carjacked. You know, I'm going to get robbed. And if somebody comes out in the street to stop me with my family from moving, what are you going to do? I don't really get this idea that it's okay to go out and block traffic. It's a pretty crazy thing when you think about it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. All right, let me get back to some of this. If you're on hold, hang in there. This is a New York City No Kings protester. Listen to this guy.
What does your sign mean? What does it mean?
That's my name?
What does your sign mean?
This is my friend's sign. I just picked it up to troll them.
What does it mean?
What does it
says,
mean?
have you smoked your Kirks today?
Yeah, my friend just made a joke about something about Charlie Kirk. I'm not really sure, but I know it's aggravating them,
So here you have, how many of these? It's when I went to the original No Kings a few months ago. These people are holding signs and they don't even know what the signs say. They don't even know what the signs say. They're just holding signs that they were given. Yeah, and you see this over and over again. Here's another MAGA girl in the street. And she's asking some questions of the No King protesters, these elderly people on the side of the road.
Faith, I'm Faith. Yeah. I'm with by myself.
Shame. Okay, now you see what's going on here? You know, you got this older guy who's got to be 75 minimum. She's about 25. He approaches her, gets in her face, and uses his body to push her away. Could you imagine in your life going, and getting in as a man, going up to a young girl and basically almost assaulting her? And the thing about these No Kings protesters that they all have in common is unhinged anger, right? Each and every single one of them I'm sharing, they're all unhinged and consumed with rage. Here's another one.
Did you guys vote in local elections too?
Oh yeah.
Your city council, who's your top rep on city council?
Whatever the D says, I vote for.
Okay, so you don't really look at anything else other than the D next to. Okay, gotcha.
The Republican Party has become just such a disaster, just a lying. It's just disgusting.
Do you think that's the entire party, or do you think that there's some Republicans on that are decent?
There's some Republicans that are decent, but most of them.
Who would you say is decent?
I don't really know.
Okay.
I don't really know who the decent one, because they're quiet. They're not saying.
What do you think of the Dallas mayor?
I don't really have.
Do you know his name?
No.
Did you guys?
They're in Dallas, by the way. Okay. When they go up to, and these aren't kids. These are old men, and old women, and they have no idea what sign they're holding, who their mayor is, who their city council is, what's going on in politics. They don't know who they voted for or why. You know, when they say paid protesters, that's what a lot of this is. Here's another, here's MAGA, like a 20-something-year-old girl. She's wearing a Charlie Kirk Freedom hat.
Okay, guys, we're here as a Christian conservative at a No Kings rally, and we're going to have some conversations with people and see why they believe President Trump is putting their freedom in danger. I'm a Christian, so I love Jesus, and I also happen to love President Trump. I was wondering, you're at the No Kings protest today, I was wondering how President Trump has put your freedom in jeopardy.
I wouldn't say my freedom's in jeopardy.
Good question.
So whose freedom's in? Why are you out here at the No Kings protest, I guess? I was wondering, what has President Trump done to put your freedom in danger?
We have something come to this. I think that he has done so by sorry, we weren't expecting to be on.
Like, you're not cute. This isn't funny.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah, this is wild. I mean, you know, you're out there saying that we're losing our freedoms, and none of them could think of a single freedom that Trump's taken away from them. Now, I found this, and this is an absolutely amazing thing. This is the new voter party registration since the presidential election, right? And if you go through each month, new Republican registrations are surpassing Democrat registrations every month, except in June. Look at this. We're pretty much we're pretty much in an almost completely MAGA country right now. If you go and you look at the numbers, and these No Kings rally events, they just make us stronger. You know, everything the Democrats have done since Trump came down the escalator to try to stop him, most of it is to try to get people to turn against Trump. Is there anything you've seen in any of these No Kings events that would do anything other than make you more in favor of Trump? They're creating MAGA people each and every day. Right? All right, now I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. You know, you want to call him. He offers no-charge consultations. If you're local, of course, you can do that in person in his office. But if you're somewhere else in the state of Florida or around the United States, of course, you can do that over the phone or through Zoom. And you really should take advantage of this no-charge consultation. He's a top guy in the industry. He has over 30 years of experience as a financial planner, very specifically working with people in their retirement and those already retired as well. And he'll tell you how you can take your hard-earned income, hard-earned money, and turn it into guaranteed income for the rest of your life. You know, with the annuities, not only is your money not at risk, but you have an income stream that comes in each and every month, which is an absolutely amazing thing. And what I learned from Joe Thomas, a lot of the pension plans that people have, as well as the lottery, like the Florida lottery, they have annuities, and that those payouts are the money generated from annuities each and every month. And it's an absolutely amazing thing. Your money's never at risk, and you're guaranteed an income stream for the rest of your life. And when you call, make sure you ask him about the bonus on your money on day one, meaning that there's some annuities, you get involved in these annuities, and you make 10% on your money before you even get back to your car. Is that amazing? And you got to ask yourself this: how long would it take you in the stock market to make 10% on your money? Well, if everything went perfectly, and it would have to go perfectly, it would be a year. But when do things go perfectly? You're going to earn 10% on day one, and you get that income stream for the rest of your life. Give him a call and set up that no-charge consultation. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, JupiterJoe.com. We'll be right back.
Are you feeling stiff, struggling with balance, or low energy? You're not alone. How would you like to restore your strength, flexibility, and your confidence without leaving your chair? Of course you would, but how and where do you even begin? It is possible. You just need the right help and guidance, and that's what you will find in the new book from author Andrea Wood, Chair Yoga for Seniors Over 60, available on Amazon. Author Andrea Wood is a highly respected fitness and wellness expert with over a decade of professional experience in yoga, Pilates, and holistic health. She's helped thousands of people just like you of all ages rediscover movement, vitality, and joy, especially older adults. Chair Yoga for Seniors Over 60 will show you how to improve your balance and posture, how to strengthen your muscles, relieve joint pain, boost energy, and even lose weight. With 50 simple chair yoga exercises, step-by-step illustrations, and exclusive video tutorials, you will gain the confidence in each and every move, safely and comfortably. This isn't about difficult poses or gym memberships. It's about living younger, stronger, and healthier, one gentle stretch at a time. Start your journey right now and order your copy of Chair Yoga for Seniors Over 60 from author Andrea Wood, available right now on Amazon in paperback and Kindle. From the slopes of Mount Kenya to the land of opportunity in America, one woman carries her father's voice across continents and through generations in the powerful new memoir from author Dr. Mumbi Mugambi, Echo of My Father's Voice, A Journey from Israel to Mount Kenya to America, available on Amazon. In this must-read book, the author uncovers hidden truths of ancestry, faith, and resilience, stories passed down through whispers, traditions, and a father's unwavering testimony. Echo of My Father's Voice is a story of identity reclaimed, of a daughter honoring her heritage, and of confronting the harsh realities of a world that too often seeks to silence those who refuse to forget where they came from. This memoir is also a journey of discovery, healing, and courage. This book also makes a great addition to your book club. Don't wait. Order your copy right now. Echo of My Father's Voice, A Journey from Israel to Mount Kenya to America. From author Dr. Mumbi Mugambi on Amazon and Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited.
All right, welcome back. My name is Brian. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And remember, the Brian Craig Show podcast is available on all podcast platforms. Just wherever you get your podcast, just search for the Brian Craig Show, and I'll pop right up. If you want to catch the live video version of the podcast, go to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig Show on YouTube, and not only can you catch the live show, you can also call in when I'm doing that. And if you're on hold, hang in there. A lot of celebrities went around and went to these events, and this guy, this particular guy, when I was young, he was in some movies I liked. He's John Cusack, and he's like a lot of actors. He's Better Off Dead's a very good movie. He should stick to the movies and scripts written by like professional people. Here is I don't know, is it actor or former actor? I don't know which is proper, but this is John Cusack. He's at the Chicago No Kings rally.
Well, the whole country was founded on No Kings.
This is your city. What do you see happening to your city right now?
Everyone knows the score, right? The authoritarians divide and conquer, and they create an other, and then they pick on it, and then pick on the person and harass them, jail them, and that's all used as a distraction so they can steal as much as they can, maintain power, right? We all know history, so that's what he's doing, and we have masked goons roaming the streets.
Is he talking about Antifa? Are those the masked goons from Antifa he's talking about?
Hiding their faces, abducting people.
Abducting people.
What is the most
Arresting.
upsetting headline for you? When you see something in the news, does it hit you in your gut? Does it hit you in your heart?
It's all upsetting. Seeing sort of a fascist authoritarian, seeing that sort of cosplay that the right wing has been fooling around with for so long, seeing it kind of devolve into the real thing is predictable, but deeply saddening.
You're a storyteller. What is the story of Chicago?
go to hell.
Does anyone know, are those lines from a movie he was in, or is he free ranging it there with his own thoughts? Now, of course, one of the best moments yesterday was from Nancy Pelosi. This is Nancy Pelosi. She's holding a crown. It looks like one of those crowns you get when you're a kid at Burger King. You know, those like little thin cardboard crowns. So she's holding this cardboard crown or something in her hand.
I'm going to tear up the crown.
Yeah, I get. She's into tearing things up. Remember when she tore up the State of the Union? She's into tearing things up. She needs to go home and talk to her husband because he's got some problems. Now, this clip. This is the guy that was. I played another clip of this guy earlier. He was talking to the No Kings Rally organizer.
With a shirt
He's wearing a shirt that says "For Charlie" on it.
with a shirt that says "For Charlie."
Because I advocate for free speech, and I
Okay, you
absolutely
have
love
free speech. Wear a shirt that says free speech. Wear a shirt that says promote free debate. Free press.
You get triggered because it has Charlie on there, right?
Because he was a racist. Because he was a misogynist, and that means that you are too. Because you support him. Get out! Get out of here!
He hated people. Yeah, just he hated anyone that wasn't white, that wasn't male, that wasn't straight.
Oh, so what they're doing is these unhinged, I'm assuming single ladies. What they're doing is justifying the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Here's another young MAGA person interviewing some of the No Kings protesters.
Recently, with Charlie Kirk being assassinated,
He's a piece of garbage. Of course we were mean. I am so...
Okay, now she's talking to a senior citizen.
Recently, with Charlie Kirk being assassinated,
He's a piece of garbage. Of course we were mean. I am so tired of people saying, oh, but, you know, it's a terrible thing. No, Hitler is dead. I'm glad Hitler's dead.
Something that I've heard in interviewing Republicans is that they're concerned with the health care going to undocumented.
So she's celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. This grandma here.
No, it's a terrible thing. No, Hitler is dead. I'm glad Hitler's dead.
Something that I've heard in interviewing Republicans is that they're concerned with the health care going to undocumented immigrants. What would you say about that?
I don't know that it's true. Everybody deserves health care, and we can certainly afford it in this country. So again, they're just, you know, they're pointing to things and saying it's our fault, we're too liberal.
Mm-hmm. She's
Yeah,
gotten
it's
tired
really
now.
depressing. I don't
Two
know how
sentences,
anybody
she's
your
out of
age even
breath, she's
thinks
so
of
old.
having children, okay? Okay, millions of Democrats did not vote. Whose fault is that? We need to get ourselves together, and we might even need to be a little bit meaner. Because
Meaner? They shot President Trump. They assassinated Charlie Kirk. And she says they're not being mean enough.
the Republicans don't mind being mean.
And by mean, what do you mean? Do you mean protesting? Do you mean...
Maybe we have to, I don't know, stop being so nice.
Because you seem like a pretty nice lady.
I'm a pretty nice lady, but I
Pretty
can be
nice.
pretty mean, too.
Okay, and I have to ask this because people on the other side are going to say that they feel like the Democrat Party has been mean. Recently, with Charlie Kirk being assassinated,
He's a piece of garbage. Of course we were mean. I am so tired of people saying, oh, but, you know, it's a terrible thing. No, Hitler is dead. I'm glad Hitler's dead.
Wow. She's glad Charlie Kirk is dead. Calls him Hitler. And she thinks that they're not being mean enough. That's what's crazy, right? We're not being mean enough, she said. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you would like to support my channel, become a Patreon supporter. A couple things about this. You know, if you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to commercial-free editions of all my podcast episodes. And now there's something new that Patreon has offered on the Patreon platform. I did this early this morning before the podcast. I now do Patreon supporter-only live streams that are on the Patreon page of mine and platform. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you also get access to those. And the Patreon live streams are just like the ones on YouTube, and there's a live chat, except it's a little more relaxing, and you get to hear me talk about some things that I don't talk about here, so you get a little more behind the scenes and my hair down a little bit more. And I do enjoy that. So that's available to Patreon supporters as well. There's a link in the description of this episode on whatever platform you're tuned in on. to my Patreon page, or you can go directly to patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. And top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on each and every episode. So the names you'll hear now are my top Patreon supporters. I want to thank SF Jr., Christine, ETW, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, Lee Zepp, Shauna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, Janice, Teresa, Irene, and Doris. These are my top Patreon supporters. Thank you all. Again, to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of the episode. Or go to patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, I guess they thought better of it. If you're on hold, hang in there. That's their protest. This is Savannah Hernandez. She's with Turning Point USA, and she went to a No Kings event yesterday, and she's also in her 20s, and she has a man who's about 73 years old and another man who's about 85 years old try to stop her from covering the event.
So this guy is so hateful and angry, he can't even tell me any of the racist things that Charlie is saying. So
I've already told you.
Okay, well then walk away from me. All you have to do is walk away.
I mean, here you got a guy who's like 73 with his friend who's 85, stalking like a 26-year-old girl out on the streets. And she's the fascist. She's the problem. What kind of man does something like this?
This gentleman found out that I worked at Turning Point USA and decided to come up to me and say that Charlie was a racist and a fascist.
This is entirely
I was having
bullshit.
a good conversation. So you found out that I worked for Turning Point and you said you can't stand here and talk with me because why?
Because Charlie Kirk was a racist, bigot, scum.
Do you think he deserved to get shot in the neck?
No, I don't think he deserved to die.
But do you see how that type of rhetoric has led to people in the United States getting killed?
His rhetoric has ruined thousands of lives.
Can I ask what rhetoric is at the forefront for you that was the most hateful?
I hate his racism. He was an anti-Semite. He accused Jews of funding replacement theory in America.
He's making crap up now.
This is insane.
So regarding the racism, I myself am a Hispanic Asian woman.
Okay.
He hired me on to, represent his organization.
God bless everybody.
The racist that hired a Hispanic Asian person as a rep, but he's a racist, according to this old white guy.
This is insane.
So regarding the racism, I myself am a Hispanic Asian woman.
Okay.
He hired me on to, represent his organization.
God bless. Everybody needs a token.
Okay, so I'm a token. Well, Charlie was just brutally murdered in front of the United States, and I think it's a big problem that we can't even have a conversation.
That's irrelevant. He had position.
That he was brutally murdered.
He had.
Yeah, it doesn't have to do with his politics.
Or our discussion.
It had everything to do with his politics because people said that he was a fascist. Like, there's a sign behind you saying the fascist Trump regime. Who's out here calling people fascists in the street? Is it the right wing? Or is it the left wing that's out here labeling everybody that
Who's acting like a fascist?
The left wing, quite frankly.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't think we have anything more to discuss.
Yeah, they're killing Republicans. They're killing MAGA people. They're shooting MAGA people. But we're the fascists.
Okay, well,
I can't convince you. You're not going to convince me. The only thing else I have to say.
Why can't we have a conversation? I was having a great conversation with him, and then you decided that Charlie was a racist, and you wanted to.
He's a racist by his own words. His own words. His own words were.
What is the most racist thing that he said? Please give
Here
me
we
the
go.
quote. If you were this angry, you should be able to give me the quote. Because I can give you 10 quotes right now from left-wingers who stated that right-wingers deserve to die, and we should fear getting shot every single time we go out after Charlie was
I'm not
killed.
responsible for every
Okay, well,
person
for you
out there, but
personally,
you're a member.
What did Charlie
You
say?
are a member.
What did Charlie say that was so racist that made you this upset? Please tell me, because you're out here telling people that he's a problem. Not you, him. He doesn't even know, and this is the exact problem. You were so hateful.
If you would
and
be
angry.
quiet for.
Regarding you specifically, you are now coming up to me. You've been extremely aggressive.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm standing here and I was having
Listen.
a conversation with this gentleman
Go
right
ahead.
here.
Go ahead.
And now
Post
you're
this.
getting so
Do whatever
angry.
you want.
Okay, so y'all, I'm at the No Kings protest here, and I was standing here. I'm wearing my press badge, and these older gentlemen came up to me and stated, you know, what's Turning Point USA? Basically asking me about Charlie. This guy right here ends up going, I can't speak to you because Charlie was a racist and a fascist. I then immediately start asking him, like, hey, do you think that means he deserved to be shot? And what exactly did he say that was so racist that made you this angry? He then went on to say that Charlie is an anti-Semite. And now I had a bunch of older people surrounding me and stating that, yeah, I'm a liar now.
Oh my goodness. You know, well, it's nice to see that Turning Point were out on the streets of America yesterday, because, you know, we do have a lot of worries that Turning Point would fade away, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Listen to this. This is a local radio station interview. They found a young person at the No Kings event. Listen to this.
Trump's a bitch.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. We don't like him. That's the word around here.
Any particular reason why you don't like him?
No clue at all. I'm just going with everybody else saying.
He doesn't even know why. If you're new to my program, make sure you subscribe, all right? My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for tuning in.